Hey everyone, this is Sarah. Thanks for checking out this video. I hope you're all doing well. It is a Friday afternoon and I have stalled long enough. No, I'm kidding, but I have been trying to make this video and I just have had the hardest time finding the spot and the time to do it. But I thought, well, you know what, I'm going to do it today because I've been anxious to get it up. I know I've mentioned it on my Instagram, and so here it is. So this journal is I would say it's kind of one of my most exciting journals I've made for myself, because I love just how much I learned and am learning still in doing this one. One of the things I wanted to do was try a ring bound, and that ended up being hilarious because I quickly outgrew the original rings I had purchased, and so these are 4-inch rings. And I love the aspect of it because I love that each page is more like a journaling card and it's very interchangeable and it's kind of independent, but I'm not sure how I love these massive rings on here. So it's just been a learning curve, and the other part about this book is just how bold and colorful it is. Before doing this, I had been working on some custom order journals, and of course those had kind of some boundaries I had to stick into. You know, they were themed, and excuse me, I was very excited to just do something crazy and different for, you know, creative therapy as we do. And so this came together and it is exactly that. It's creative and crazy. So I love it. I love the colors in it, and I hope you enjoy looking at it with me. I will say that this ended up kind of being more of a portfolio of ideas than anything else to me, because there's really not any journaling space in it, but what it is just, for one, I love it on my shelf. Like, it's stunning to look through. I pick it up often, but it was fun to experiment and try different ideas that I hadn't done before. I mean, one was obviously the ring bound and the kind of independent cards, but you know, I like to call it, I call it a skirt. I basically gave this one, I'm trying to get a good view of it, but I basically gave this one a skirt instead of our traditional sides that we ruffle. So just fun things like that. And then there are different color schemes in here that when they came together, I thought, oh, I love this. I want to do a journal in just this color scheme. So that's what this has just been fun for me. So I'm going to do my best to walk you through it. It's a pretty big book, so I don't know how I'm going to walk you through it, but we're just going to start. And what I will do is, though, I'm going to try to show you different fabrics that I used in here, just so you understand what I'm saying when I try to describe it, because in my first filming I would be like, well, this is a thin scarf, and I'm like, well, that doesn't make, they're not having any idea what I'm talking about. So I went and found everything, and so we'll go from there. But anyway, so the other thing is a lot of these are digitals from Etsy, and I will do my best to find everybody and link them below. I am not going to remember them off the top of my head. There's too many, and I'm terrible with names at this point in my life. So I will do my best to link them below. But again, this really wasn't inspired by like a fairy kind of journal. Really, I would almost call this more of like my secret garden journal. I wanted it to have a lot of depth. I want it to have whimsical, you know, interesting things that you may not notice the first time through, you know, just layers and layers of the texture and stuff. So that it was what I was going for. So, you know, this page in particular has so many different textures on it. Obviously there's the paper in the background, but then it is embossed back there. The blue, you can hear it, is embossed. There's a piece of like an old handkerchief here that I shredded, you know, ripped a strip out of. There's a woven ribbon here. There's this piece of feathery yarn, which I love. I found this skein of yarn, and it's all different colors. It kind of has gradient throughout, and I just went through and cut them into their different colors. There's some others, blues and greens and stuff, but love using those in here. This big embroidered patch, I love using these things, but I find that they're kind of expensive. So one thing I have learned is to buy fabric. Oftentimes this is kind of expensive, you know, $20, $30 a yard, but what I'll do is I'll just wait for a coupon like at Joann's or stuff like that, and then just rip this up, tear it apart. You can either cut it, or a lot of times if it's synthetic, you can use like a lighter and it'll melt the netting, and then you stop at the, you know, obviously the flower you want. But I've really enjoyed using this fabric. I'm trying to find the leaves. The leaves are really good. I like using those a lot. So yeah, that's one thing I've learned to do. And you can buy white fabric like that, which is obviously more common because it's in the bridals. And then you can dye it with different sprays or dyes, and that is beautiful as well. So love using that. One thing I loved about this journal is there really wasn't any rules. It was just colors. So I had a lot of fun finding just floral digitals and using them. Did a lot of it exploring Etsy for this, and that was really relaxing for me to do that. Love these little butterflies. Found these on Amazon. They're just I think you need to type in like organza butterflies because they are fabric, and then they're super cute, and I've enjoyed using those. They had a nice dimension to a journal. Okay, now one thing I was struggling with the ring bound is just the page turning. Can be kind of awkward at the beginning or the end because the balance, I mean, you can see the balance of turning this page, so bear with me here at the start. But loved this color scheme on this one. I love these rich blues. I've kind of been toying with the idea of making a real vibrant blue journal. I just didn't want it to turn patriotic, so I'll have to figure out different other complementary colors. Journaling card there. Got a tuck spot up here with the tag in it. So here's a scrap of that embroidered fabric. I've got a die cut here with more embossing. I embossed gold on it. There's also embossing around the edges of this paper. You can't really see it, but it is there. Just a little piece of trim. I did some like whip stitching on the pocket, which was fun. I hadn't done that in a book yet, and I really loved how that turned out. Excuse me, I've got a little poof here, which is a piece of an old handkerchief as well. Little button, and then I gave this little ruffly skirt on the bottom. And then here's a good example of this ribbon. You're going to see this throughout, and we will all show it to you when I come to a bigger space. But this is one of my favorite ribbons to use in journals. It's stunning in nature journals. Okay, here it is. I can show you. So it's just a strip along the whole length of the back of the journal, and I love how it just makes it seem, you know, very realistically nature for this image, and it's fun. And then this is a piece of silk cord. I've got a piece of sari silk trim back there. This is kind of a white ribbon as well, but it's almost fuzzy. I don't know if it's yarn or what, but I love that. Another piece of embroidered. Let me show you. So this is the ribbon I'm talking about. I get this at Hobby Lobby. It is in the gardening, well, no, I should say it's in the floral department, but obviously this reminds me of gardening for some reason, over by the bridal, so it's not in the fabric. I absolutely adore this ribbon. They have it in the green, and then they also have it in like a rustic brown. It's soft. I mean, you can see I can wad it up like that. But it is, the only challenge in a journal is that you have to have your glue gun ready pretty much, because the glue gun is the better source I've found for adhering than a regular, you know, liquid glue. It kind of needs kind of instant stability. So I have a, you know, fine tip on my glue gun, and that works just fine. So I use that ribbon a lot in here. What else? This is a die cut, which is from an Etsy shop, which I will link below. I loved the images of that. This roses image as well is from an Etsy shop, which I fussy cut it and put it on a piece of acetate paper that has like gold lines in it, and I really like that, and then just made it into a tuck spot. This page was so fun. I was thinking initially that I wanted to make a 3D. I had seen someone, and I don't know who, but make a flower girl, like a paper doll, and I thought, oh, I really want to do that in this. So this worked out perfect for this journal. What I did was obviously found the images on Etsy, but then this is flowers from the petals, I'm sorry, from a velvet flower that was in a Christmas arrangement that I found at Goodwill. So follow that trail. But yeah, that's how random this is. These were like pink velvet poinsettias, and it was fairly abused arrangement, but it worked perfect for mine. So I was so excited to find that. And when I saw it, I'm like, oh my goodness, that's going to be a skirt for some doll. There's more of that yarn underneath there to give some texture. And then I don't know how well, there we go, it's picking up a little bit, but I had found this scarf at a Goodwill. Excuse me. I mean, isn't that fun? It's like a super fragile netting, but then it's got these great colorful segments of yarn woven through it. So I have just been ripping into this, and there's a lot of it here still. It's got it up in a rubber band, but so I've had super fun with this, and this is in a background of a lot of these pages because it just adds a level of dimension and color. So things like that are really fun to look out for. Obviously we got a piece of just old lace down here. Over here, this is again just a piece of like a scrappy doily that I cut up. More appliques from the big piece of fabric over there. Made this into a tuck spot. Now this is a beautiful floral paper, but I've also glued down a piece of fabric up here that is floral to just add further texture. What I like to do for that, excuse me, is I find scarves like this, and these are just super lightweight cotton, and they shred really easily. I mean, obviously you can tell like this. I do this all the time. And so I'll cut out a flower section, and I use it. These are great if you want to age them with oxide sprays. I do stuff like this all the time. And I mean, you get so much fabric for the, you know, usually these are less than $1 at a Goodwill. So that's something I use a lot in backgrounds. This page is fun. One part I love about this journal is it introduced me to using yellow. Hadn't used yellow really before, and I really loved it. It can be very fun and vibrant, and so I did some embossing on her wings. I don't know if you could see it, but it is there. There's some of the ribbon I mentioned from Hobby Lobby, which I enjoy using. There's some fabric back here. A little scrap of lace, embroidery. This is a patch. This I think I found from a little girl's dress. And typically I don't destroy things if they're nice, but oftentimes my Goodwill that I refer to is a bins Goodwill, if you're familiar with those, where nothing is priced individually. They just have, the store is just huge bins and everything is sold by weight. So a lot of the stuff that's in there is in there because it didn't sell at a normal Goodwill store. So oftentimes, you know, things can have damage or whatever. And so I find a lot of things that way. So yeah, this was, I believe, from a little girl's dress. And then this is a piece of like organza, or no, I'm sorry. I think it's organdy. But it's, I dyed it with oxide spray, and I love how that looks. There kind of gives it an aged look. Got some fun journaling cards here. I thought Language of Flowers was appropriate. Here I just used a piece of embroidered fabric. This was from my Happy Mail exchange with Emily, I believe, of Emily's Paper Arts. I really like that. I wanted to use that in here. Okay, we're getting there. It's a little bit easier to turn. Love the dark colors in this spread. I really want to do a pansy journal at some time. I know there's another page in here that has pansies, and I love that. This page has a lot of depth. There's this lace here. There's the green ribbon there. Back behind here is a real delicate piece of antique lace. It's very fragile. This was a corner, like a binding of something, so it's kind of shredded, and I loved how that looks. And then we've got a little embroidered sprig here. I can't remember quite where that was from. I know I cut it out of something, but I love that. And then we just got a little cute, I like to do kind of 3D movable dangles here and there. It adds a little point of interest on a page. Here's another one that I enjoyed using yellow in. We got a tuck spot here, journaling card, piece of coffee dyed paper. Over here's another pocket, and This paper back here, you can't see a whole lot of it, but if you'll notice it's stripes because this is actually a digital of washi tape from Etsy, and it is so pretty. The way the seller organized the colors, I don't even use it as washi tape. I just love the striped florals of it, so I will link that below because it is just beautiful. We've got a piece of lace is the skirt here, which I also sprayed with oxide sprays. I don't tend to do any dyeing. I don't ever have that time to prepare, so this is usually just me, you know, putting this over in my garbage can in my room, because I have a tall garbage can that I keep a plastic bag in, obviously, but it only ever has paper. So I just lay the lace in there and spray down into the garbage, so I'm not, you know, there's no overspray in my room. And then I use paper towel and I just dab dry it, and I put in my book. So very fast, practical for me anyway. So I love that though. I got a little butterfly here, which I've left kind of 3D. And then this cute little fussy cut girl here. Another piece of dyed lace, same thing, the oxide sprays. Love these blues here. This was a big, I think I got this one off Amazon. Amazon does have good appliques, and they're fairly reasonable. They can be a little big scale wise, so I just tend to cut them up, but I like that. Love her. She was a debate for the cover girl. This is my first, I loved this stringy part, and this is from another scarf that I found. And see how, I don't know if this is old or what. I found it on at Goodwill as well, but it's very fragile. And then it just, the ends were stringy, and it tends to separate pretty easily and just be, you know, what would you call it? Fragile is just the word that comes to mind. So I loved using that in here. It gave an airy dimension to this. This page is pretty. I've got a little, you know, pocket here, belly band from Sorry Trim. Little digital here, little note card or journaling pocket book, whatever. And then tuck spot here. This digital is just beautiful. This is from Etsy. I'll try to link that below as well. I really like this blue on this spread. Super pretty. Lace. This has, this is the one, where'd it go? This is all along this back. So if you're able to see the different layers of texture in there, are super fun, super pretty, very, you know, gardenish, magical. I think I need to eat some lunch. I'm not forming sentences properly. I apologize. I love this. I added a little sparkle. I didn't want to go too glamorous, but I thought that was fitting in here. Got a nice little skirt on this page. Little piece of frilly trim there. I got another flower girl over here with a tuck spot. Oh, we're almost getting to the middle. It's going to get easier to turn the pages, but I had originally tried ribbon in my holes there, and that was not enough. It was very hard to turn the pages. So the rings are the best, but they're still a little awkward. I don't know how I would enjoy it if I actually had to write in the book. I will say that it was fun to use it, make a ring bound journal, in the sense that if I wanted to take a page out and put it somewhere else in the book, I could do that so easily, which that was really fun, because usually I don't have that freedom when I'm making a journal. So there's more of that stringy scarf that I love. This page has a flip up like this for a good journaling spot. I love this little remnant on there. This is a piece of ribbon I had found in the Christmas section. I think I got it at Hobby Lobby, or no, actually I think I found that at Goodwill, and it was wire edged, and I just cut the wire edge off kind of roughly because I just wanted it to lay there and be a texture. So I love that in there. Got this fun you know, fraying skirt down here, and I just love it. Now this paper I printed, this image I printed on vellum, so that it kind of has a crinkle and it's a little bumpy. I don't know if that's picking up, but I like how that looks and feels when you turn the page. Nice little tuck spot here with some vintage ephemera, and I love that lace. Okay, this is the one that was a pansy page, and I adore this. I definitely want to make a pansy, and I love how the blue goes with the brown in some ways. I mean, it does, but this page has some pinks in there in the background, but it's really cool. Nice piece of fragile old lace. One I love. I have never been able to leave behind pieces of lace like this in my estate sales or, you know, Goodwill jaunts, but it's so nice to have a way to use them now, so they're not just sitting in my drawer, you know, collecting dust. I love that I've been able to put them in here. So here's another flower girl. Her skirt, it was just more of a faux silk flower that I used, and I did spray it with some vintage photo distress ink or oxide spray so that it would look a little more aged, and I really like that. I put some lace behind her wings. There's some of that ribbon back in there. Love that. Here is a little I think this opens this way. Yes, and I use the butterfly as a tuck spot. Love how that is. This is a movable like seed packet card. There's a lot of textures back there, and then this is a tuck spot for these. Let's see. Oh, this one. I love this page. I love these pinks in here and the green. Oh, it's so pretty. I love how this is a piece of embossed, you know, I used an embossing folder on it. Sorry, I had a brain spasm there. I get old lace here. This is a true antique, what do you call this, kind of clip art thing that I had lifted from an old scrapbook. So I was happy to give it a new life in here, and hopefully it'll be better preserved than the nasty book it was in, but I love that. And then there's there's lace back here. There's sari trim, several pieces of embroidery, and then another antique silver lace. I've had this for a long time, and it's really fragile, but I've loved that I can glue it down and then it doesn't seem to damage it any further. This one was a fun use of red. I haven't really, I've kind of been afraid of red in journals, and especially with this blue, I thought it would turn too patriotic, but I love it. It's very rich. I made a little tuck spot back here with a little, there's my one journaling space in the whole book. But no, and then I did some kind of messy embroidery stitches on there, which I love. So this page is fun. She was a contender for the front cover as well because she's so bright and vivid. And I love this trim. This was off of this scarf I found at Goodwill where it was edged in all this trim. And I just cut myself off a little segment, which obviously there's still a lot here to work with. So things like that I love finding. And this page is similar to that other one. I just love this pink and green vibe. So definitely gonna have to do a journal in these colors in my future here. Pretty die cuts. Both this butterfly is kind of 3D, and then the little girl here as well. This is a little opening where you could do some journaling. This is dyed paper. I think that, yeah, there's a die cut paper back here as well as some lace, some woven ribbon there, and then this lace down here on the bottom. There's another red and blue page which worked out. This is an antique, also lifted from that journal, or I'm sorry, the scrapbook that's in rough shape, so I was happy to preserve that. Got a pretty die cut girl here. This is a little fold out where you could do some journaling, and got this cute little image on vellum of children dancing on a mushroom. This page, I know I left this is a pocket, so I think I want to make a journaling or a big tag to put in there. I haven't done that yet, but for now there's a pretty girl back in there. And then this has a lot of dimension as far as this is movable. There's tulle back in here. These butterflies are fabric. They're the organza ones. And then this fussy cut flower. Love this big red butterfly. I don't know how well I'm sorry if I'm trying to get it back up to the light. It's beautiful. I did some embossing on him. And then we've got lace. We've got sparkly tulle, which, did I bring some of that over here? Yes. I love using tulle like this, especially if it's got glitter in there, because even if it's, you know, fairly fades into the background, the sparkles can really show up and add some fun dimension to your work. Got a little tuck spot over here with this little skirt. This was off of a little girl's kind of like a dance costume skirt that had stains or whatever, but I loved that blue, so I thought, well, I can salvage some of that. Love it. Got some fun ephemera here. Vellum, a bookmark. Let's see. Using red and pink was fun. So we've got this gorgeous butterfly girl. There's tulle back here. There's a big piece of lace. There's embroidered. There's the green Hobby Lobby ribbon. This is a die cut from like an old Valentine scrap, which I really like. Here's some of the fringy material. So I hope you can get an idea of the different dimensions there, as well as on the next page. I made a pocket. Try not to bounce the book around. There's a pocket here, but then this is cut away. We've got lace. We've got this flat ribbon and another piece of that die cut. I just love that. More lace over here. These pages I tended to just leave alone. There's enough going on there. They were kind of simple. Love this. I think I got this in a gift from Emily. Love that. Some trim. This was a new die cut, the frame anyway, and I love the paper. I had this real marbleized pretty paper, and then when I cut it out, I fell in love with just the dimensions of it, so that was fun. A little tuck spot here, 2 journaling spots, and this piece of fragile lace down here at the bottom. This page has a lot of dimension as well. There's the, this fabric is along the back, some of the fuzzies, another applique here. I just love it. I love all that color. This one was fun. I fell in love with this butterfly image. I think I just found it on Google Images or Pinterest or something. It's an old ad. It's advertising eyeglasses. It has wordage on it, but it's so pretty. So I use that as a pocket for these ephemera pieces. And then we got this pretty gal over here, and she's a little journaling spot. Here's a pretty piece of an old doily that wasn't dyed. That was already pink like that. Okay, and then we've got this, just another butterfly, and this beauty. I love this old lace. This was actually from an antique doll dress that was too badly damaged, but I was able to salvage different pieces of it. Got another tuck spot here with a journaling card, and I love her. I love how bright pink her wings are. And then we've got more of that lace down at the bottom. This page was fun. It was one of the last ones I was working on. I love this blue in here with the pink. Just darling, we've got some little pearls I put in there. There's lace back in here and fuzzies, as I'm calling them. Yeah, a lot of textures on this page. And then lastly, and I realized when I was making this that I didn't get to finish the back page, so forgive me, it's not quite done. But right when I was done with this, one of my favorite people on Instagram to follow is JunkJournalDavao. He's from the Philippines, and he had released a digital kit in the opening of a store, and I loved this image here, so I bought it. But this was almost done, so I wanted to include one thing in here and as well. I'm sure I'm going to use them in other journals, but I love that. So I'm not sure what I'm going to put around here. Probably some texture, right? Because that's what I do. So anyway, and then the back is just kind of simple. I put this gal on top of a piece of pretty pink paper. For the front and the back, they're on cardboard so that they're a bit sturdier. This feels pretty sturdy. Nothing feels like it's gonna rip when you're turning the page or anything. But so yeah, that is my very clumsy flip through of this big girl. I so love it. I hope you enjoy looking at it as I did. And like I said, it's fun to sometimes just let yourself just kind of go crazy and make something that doesn't really have to have any rules or anything. It's just fun and really inspiring. And it's something that like I said, I look through this all the time. It's very relaxing to me. So thanks so much for lasting through what looks like a 30-minute video, but I hope y'all are doing well. And be sure to check the description box if you're interested in any of the digitals that I used in this. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.